I started my own business when I was living in Poland. I was a content writer and I had a lot of work. This section is about how I started my own business and made it work. A lot of people are scared to start their own business because they think it is too difficult and risky, but it doesn't have to be like that. It can be done with the right mindset, determination, and hard work. When you start your own business, there are many things that you have to consider, like the market size, competition, location, etc. But one thing that often gets overlooked is how you will market yourself and your product, service. What is a business and how do you start one? A business is a company that creates a product or service for sale to generate revenue. Business owners need to know how to start one, how it works, and what are the different types of businesses. Starting a business can be hard, but there are some steps you can take in order to make it easier. You should first decide on your target audience and what kind of product or service you want to offer them. You should also think about your pricing strategy and whether you want to sell your products directly or through distributors. There are many different types of businesses, including consulting firms, manufacturing companies, service providers. The steps of starting a business and the main things to keep in mind. To start a business, you need to take some important steps. The first step is to have a plan for your business, and the second step is to make sure you know what you are getting yourself into. The first thing that needs to be done before starting a business is deciding whether or not it is worth it. You should decide whether or not starting your own business aligns with your values and goals in life. The next thing that needs to be done before starting a business is having a plan for the future of your company. This includes what kind of products, services, and customers that you want to target, as well as how much money you want to make in the future. The third step in the process of starting a company is making sure that there are no barriers preventing. Step 1. Formulating your startup plan. The startup plan is a document that outlines the goals and objectives of your startup. It is important to have this document before you launch your startup because it helps you to prioritize your efforts, set milestones, and assess progress. Step 1. Formulating your startup plan. The most important step in launching a successful startup is preparing a startup plan. This quote from the article helps us understand what kind of plans should be made at the beginning of the process. A startup plan can help you get started with your project, whether it is for business or personal use. Step 2. Getting funding for your startup. The second step in starting your startup is to get funding. This can be a daunting task for those who are not familiar with the process. There are many ways to get funding, but the most common ways include crowdfunding, angel investors, and venture capitalists. In order to get funding for your startup, you will need to have a business plan that includes all of the necessary information about your startup and how it will make money. You should also have traction in a product that people want or need. Step 3. Finding successful people to help you grow your new company. It is important to find people who have the same values as you do and who are able to help your company grow. The most important thing to remember when looking for these people is that they should be a good fit for your company. They should be passionate about what you're doing and be willing to invest time into helping your company grow. It's also important that they are able to produce quality content as well as develop relationships with clients and prospects. Step 4. Manage your first few months of successful growth with these tips and tricks. The first few months of a startup can be difficult. It is important to keep in mind the key factors that contribute to success and make sure that your business is growing as you expected. Following are some of the tips and tricks that will help you manage your first few months of successful growth. Keep an eye on what's happening in your industry and market, as well as competitors. This will help you stay ahead of the curve. Make sure you have a timeline for your project so that you can tell if it's working or not. Establish a budget for marketing